Hello, everyone. I'm Gwen Preston of Resource Maven, and I'm here at the Metals Investor Forum in January. And I'm joined by Jessome of Silver Tigre. Thanks for joining me.
Well, thank you for the invite, and it's always a pleasure to see you.
And we have something kind of exciting to talk about. You guys put out news just this last week about a fourth kind of mineralization that you're encountering that you've just discovered at the Tigre Project. So let's set the stage. We're talking about Mexico. Mexican mines are usually epithermal, stockworking on top. That's often open pit, and you've got that. That was the initial resource that you delineated there. Then the focus was always the veins, chasing the quartz veins down. So talk about the veins. Then we'll get into the next two.
So you know, we call it simply in Mexico, we call it a flowering epithermal system. That's what we've been, you know, for 27, 28 years. Our group out of Halifax has been building mines on these systems, and it's real simple. Identify the pit at surface, which we did, that 1 million ounce resource. Ours is all gold, so it's going to be really amenable to heap leach, and then start going after that quartz vein, high grade quartz vein, chalcopyrite, sphalerite, galena, and you see our results. It's 1, 2, 3 meters of 1, 2, 3, 10, 87 kilos we had in the hole. It's just really, but look, it's hard mining. So that's why you need that stockwork to get going, and then you go underground and transition. And you know, we've had great success across 5-6 kilometers, but really let's focus on around and under that old mine, which was incredible. And as you know, that's why we bought it. Was 100 million silver equivalent ounces in how many 20 years, average grade of 2.5 kilos from 100 ton per day mill. That's what the Tigre was. High grade, low volume, and that's what it'll be in the future.
And that's, like you say, that's great. That mineralization is there. You've delineated a bunch of it, but it is hard mining because these are narrow veins, and narrow veins are hard. So you have actually, in trying to delineate those narrow veins, you have now encountered 2 additional kinds of mineralization. Last year there was the shale horizon.
That's correct. And really, and you can go back and we've been on these epithermal systems, our team, building mines for 27 years. And when we started drilling that, as we were doing these angled holes in the quartz veins, about 150 meters, 160 meters from surface, you know, we started seeing this black shale, which should have had nothing in it. We assay it, 10, 15, 20 meters of up to a kilo. One of the highest was 2.6 kilos. We're like, what's that? And then it took us a while, and we figured out that, you know, at some point during that quiet period, the shale zone got laid down. And when that vertical quartz vein comes through that horizontal shale, you get these blowouts, which is so helpful. Think about it. You got the stockwork at top, you got the bulk tunnies there, you follow surgically that quartz vein, and then on the way going to depth, you get this blowout. So it's like, you know, that's going to be some beautiful ore right there that's going to go into the mill at some point down the road. So that was great. And then that was the bonus, we thought. That was the gift from God.
Right.
But that was the third type. But you know,
then
we've been blown. The team was blown away by the shale. They're speechless over what we've just found and press released on Wednesday.
So what you just found and press released is a sulfide zone. So you went deeper again to a different rock contact. So if you think of the shale zone as like one layer in the cake of rocks that you drill down through, the vein cut up through that cake. The shale zone was good for holding onto metals, so you got a balloon out of mineralization there. You went deeper and went to a different rock contact, and at that rock contact, it appears that there's a puddle, another balloon. I don't know what the good word is, so of far, sulfide mineralization.
100%. And Gwen, what we were doing so your listeners can understand. Look, the Tigre mine, if you could see it at the south end, they went down to the Precambrian granite, and it's 450 meters, and they took right at that south end of that mine, imagine 50 million silver equivalent ounces out at over 2 kilos, almost 2.5. And then they went home in 1929. The northern end, you could see them going north and coming down. They really never went after it. So that's where our drilling has been focused. But to be frank, when we started, and you know, we've gone, and we'll talk about underground rehabilitation in a minute, we wanted to start drilling from level 7 in the old mine, where they went that deep in the north, that new target. And, you know, the hope was, look, well, if there was 50 million silver equivalent ounces here at 2 kilos, it's going to be over here. You might market that, but do you really believe it? So we were going after 3 things: unmined Sui, unmined Tigre vein, and unmined Sites Kelly with the shale in it, and drilling that from surface. And that was enough. And then last fall, we started seeing some really strange results, you know. And you go back and look at our press release put in November, we didn't know what we were onto. We wanted to be really careful because, you know, we started getting 10, 15 meters of north of a kilo.
Right.
And that's not supposed to be there. So what we thought, the steep holes from surface, we were drilling down the structure. I went to the mountain in November with the team, and we determined we weren't. So we went at it hard with all drills we had on deck from surface. And, you know, we got 25 holes of it. It is absolutely incredible. It's so far already in several months, we've delineated about 160 meters of it. Now think about this blob that's open both ways. 160 meters, and it's so far 35 to 40 meters wide and holding consistently at both throughout the whole structure. But it's the grade. I mean, I want your viewers to go look at our press release from Wednesday. I mean, all 8 holes or 9 holes we put out hit this. And I mean, the lead hole it's 6 meters of almost 3 kilos.
Yeah.
Within almost 50 meters of almost a kilo.
Right.
And then, okay, so that's one hole. And then the next one is the same.
Yeah.
And the next one is the same. And you keep stepping out 10, 15, 20 meters and it's still there. So rest assured, we're putting a lot of holes through it, north and south. And here's what the geologists tell me. Dave Duncan is our VPX. And Dave's been involved with all of our mines we built in Mexico and several that he, as a young man, built in Africa. So he's seen some big systems. And he said, Glenn, all I can tell you, because I said, what are we into here, Dave? And he said, big systems behave like big systems when you find something. And he said, we have to drill it. It's already big. He said, he says it's big, it's bigger, and there's biggest, but it's acting like biggest because as we drill it, it's acting in a consistent way that we think there's a lot of room to grow here. And that changed everything under the north end of that mine. Now all of a sudden you've got a stockwork, you come down and you get that quartz vein, which is tough mining, high grade. Now you're gonna have the shale, and now right down at the Precambrian granite, we ran into this. So things couldn't be going better. One type of mineralization to start, and now we have 4.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Sure.
We may find more.
Like you say, big systems. I mean, the fact that it's acting like a big system, great. The fact that there's bulk potential here, right, with the sulfide horizon and the shale horizon, both offering something that's very different and doesn't have the challenges that those narrow vein operations have.
Absolutely.
That's really helpful. And then you're going to be able to drill it. You already have a bunch of drills on it, but you mentioned underground rehabilitation. You're going to be able to drill it much more efficiently soon.
So what we did is we'd made the decision as we were attacking. We're going to go hard under the north end of that mine because we knew we'd find special stuff there. The shale was there, the 3 veins. So we started surface drilling, and we just said, look, we opened up the old mine. You go on the website, folks, and have a look at it. The underground workings were in incredible shape. So, you know, 9x9, the old timers, we just walked in and pretty well went right to the Sui vein, and that was development to explore. But I was there in November, and we kind of knew then that we were on to something really special down deep. We use Cominvi for all our underground rehabilitation. They do Silvercrest, they do Agnico's work. We've used them for more than 20 years in several of our other mines. So they were using small equipment to rehabilitate into the 9x9 old openings. And we just said, look, you know, development for exploration will be development for mining. And so we want to walk on level 7 where the old timers stopped in multi-kilo or regular feeds the shale, the veins, and now this sulfide zone. So we were about 500 meters in to the Sui in the old workings safely, and we're getting ready to transition drills there. But we paused and we said, Cominvi, bring in the jumbo gear. And now we've ripped 16 by 16 opening, a true portal. And because that will be a haulage way at some point, we think. And we're about 225 meters of that done.
Okay.
So what will happen, Gwen, in the next month is those drills that are banging away at the shale will move down about 250 meters, and they're just going to be probably 175, 200 meter holes. And you can be very surgical and strategic with underground drilling. And that's the next.
All right. Well, there's a lot to come.
Yes.
I look forward to keeping up with the story. Thanks so much for being here.
Gwen, thank you for the invite. Appreciate it.